This one's tight, mean. I cannot wait to see how this plays out and get your perspective because I feel like we have a lot of respect for both these guys and anticipate probably a close competitive fight. It's Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez coming in with his 17-3 record as a plus 240 dog, taking on the future Ian Garry, who at 11-0 is a guy who keeps getting better and better. I definitely was a not a hater of Ian Garry by any stretch, but a doubter for sure because those early fights against Jordan Williams, against Darian Weeks, I don't know. I wasn't quite yet buying all the hype, all the mystique that was surrounding this kid, and I kind of thought it was a little bit of bluster, especially with what he was offering on the mic afterwards. Like I'm the guy that I'm the only one that's as entertaining as Conor McGregor type stuff. I don't know. I was kind of not buying it at first, but the two most recent performances against Gabriel Green, where he put on a start to finish striking clinic over gifted Gabe, and then most recently against Song Kanan, where he did eat that one heavy strike in the first round. Song just totally dropped him, and it was good to see Ian Garry both recover from that fight mid round and be able to make some in-fight adjustments and ultimately pull off a finish of his own. And that was only his second of 2-4 fights to end via finish in his favor. But I thought it was just a very impressive, complete performance from Ian Garry, and one where, like, on the stool, he was communicating with his coaches. You could tell, like, he knew exactly what went wrong in that moment, and just really cool to see a guy bounce back from a dangerous moment like that. So I was impressed. Definitely bought the hype on that moment for Ian Garry, and he's going to need everything he's got in this one against D-Rod, who has won 4 of his last 5. His only loss was to Neil Magny. He got submitted, but before that, he's went on a nice win streak, right? Mike Perry, he made easy work. Preston Parsons, he finished whoever that is, and also picked up some wins over Kevin Lee. And that fight against the Leash, I remember you and I watched together. It was that weird 180-pound catch weight fight where Lee was kind of on the short end of the stick and coming in as a way smaller guy and still put up a great fight. I think you and I both thought Lee actually won that fight, but nonetheless, it was a 4th straight win for D-Rod. It just ended quickly when he got matched up against Magny. So do you think that Ian Garry potentially is on that Neil Magny level of talent and he's going to continue the L streak for D-Rod, or is this too much too soon for the future? And the future is right now the present, but it's about to be D-Rod's past. Who are you taking?
Yeah, this is a very fun fight. Big levels test for Ian Garry because yeah, I do respect D-Rod, but man, those last 2 performances, I have not been impressed. And like you said, Ian Garry's been looking pretty good his last 2 performances. So I would, 9 times out of 10, I would say, oh, D-Rod would absolutely smash this wannabe Connor. But I'm sold on the hype, man. I think he is the future. He's 25, looking sharper and sharper. I think he wins by knockout. I think it's in the 2nd or 3rd round, though. D-Rod is a tough guy, tough son of a gun. Would be interesting to see D-Rod try to do some grappling because we haven't really seen Ian's tested in the grappling area. I doubt it. He's more of a, SoCal boxer, street fighter kind of guy. But I think if he tries, I think Ian Garry's reach, length, skill, I don't know. I think his kicks and mixture of combos, I think it's going to reach him, and I think he gets it done. Might even be a finish, even though D-Rod is such a tough dude. Just, I don't know. This kid's just really been impressing me these last 2 fights.
Yeah, 100%. He's been impressing me as well. And yeah, D-Rod is ultra tough. So if you're able to pull off a finish against him, then that is definitely a fern in your cap for sure. And you mentioned the groundwork. Perhaps that does play into this, right? Sometimes, and maybe this is a little bit anecdotally, but sometimes you'll see a guy get submitted in the most recent fight or get out grappled, out wrestled, and then they will tend to utilize a similar game plan in their next fight against someone who they perceive to have grappling deficiencies to them, who have just been working on it the past 5, 6, 7 months since being submitted, right? So maybe we see Rodriguez, who just got taken down by Magny, just got submitted. Maybe he thinks, okay, I've been working on that ever since. He's a 10th planet guy, right? So perhaps he's been refining his jiu-jitsu, and he tries to implement a similar game plan against Garry, because you're right, we hadn't really seen Ian Garry get tested too much in the UFC in the grappling department. We did see a little bit from the grappling in the regional scene and Gary's pre-UFC career, but as far as the UFC is concerned, no one has really pushed the pace on him, and they've all really just tried to compete in a striking competition with Machado Garry, and so far that's been a bad idea for those who try to play that game. So I almost think, Meat, that Rodriguez, he's always down to stand and bang, right? Perhaps it'll be good for him to mix it up and try to make this thing ugly up against the cage. But the dude at the end of the day is a brawler. He's a straight up fighter. So it wouldn't surprise me if these two guys just meet in the middle and just start throwing absolute meat bombs. And when that does happen, if in fact it does, I gotta roll with you. I gotta take Ian Garry all the way. I think he's going to have the striking advantage in this one. He's going to be the younger fighter by like 10 years. I mean, Rodriguez isn't a young cat. He's only been in the UFC for a few years, but he's one of those guys who joined a little bit later in their career. And Ian Garry is just way too fast, way too accurate, way too technical. He's going to have a slight height advantage, though their reach is the exact same. But I see this one, for as long as it does play out on the feet, being in Ian Garry's favorite. So as long as he can avoid those heavy meat bomb shots from D-Rod, which I think he will, and doesn't get clipped by a Song Kanon like bomb, then I like Ian Garry to maybe, like you said, even pick up a finish in this one. But decision could be safe because, to your point, D-Rod is as tough as they come for sure. But I don't know, man. Ian Garry is fast, crisp. Maybe he sleeps him, yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me at all. But yeah, like I said, D-Rod is a decision king and a tough son of a gun, so it wouldn't be surprising if it goes to decision on whoever wins. But yeah, I gotta take Ian. I'm thinking second round knockout. Um, yeah, this is a fun fight. It's tough, but I'm kind of rooting for D-Rod because I'm such a fan.
Yeah, let us know down low if you're with the Meat Boys. We're both taking the future Ian Machado Garry. D-Rod we're a fan of, but we think he loses one. So let us know down low who you're going.